Intriguing Bible presents the prophecy of the enemies of Israel written in Psalm 83. Whenever there is conflict in or around Israel, many see it as a sign of the soon approach of the end times. The problem with this is that we can eventually become tired of the conflict in Israel, so much so that we will no longer recognize when the actual prophetically significant events occur. The conflict in Israel is not necessarily a sign of the end times. Conflicts in Israel have always been a reality for as long as Israel has existed as a nation. Whether it be the Egyptians, Amalekites, Midianites, Moabites, Ammonites, Philistines, Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, or Romans, the nation of Israel has always been persecuted by its neighbors. Why is this? According to the Bible, it is because God has a special plan for the nation of Israel, and Satan wants to sabotage that plan. Satanically influenced hatred of Israel is why Israel's neighbors have always wanted to see that nation destroyed. We will analyze Psalm 83 below. Do not disconnect so you can learn this important information. Psalm 83 is more than an intercessory prayer related to Israel's ancient enemies, the Palestinians' quest for a state, and many years of trying to exchange territory for peace, has prepared the peoples listed in Psalm 83 to unite against the Israeli state so that this prophecy may be fulfilled. In conclusion, by confederating these nations, their objective is the destruction of the Israeli Jewish state. There are some things that we see very specific in this psalm. It clearly says that they have carefully and secretly taken counsel against the people of God. And they have taken counsel against them. They have agreed to destroy Israel so that they are no longer a nation. These enemy peoples do not want there to be any more memory of the name of Israel. In verse 5, the writer of this psalm intercedes by saying that these enemies have actually conspired and made an alliance against God himself. For this reason, the psalmist begins this psalm saying, "O God, do not be silent. Do not be silent, O God, nor be still." On the other hand, this war described in Psalm 83 is an ancestral war, since it has its origins in family conflicts of the patriarchs, which occurred thousands of years ago. Let's look at those conflicts. Conflicts between mothers. Sarah versus Hagar in Genesis 16 and 21. The Hagarenes or Egyptians descend from Hagar. Conflict between children. Isaac versus Ishmael in Genesis 16, 17 and 21. All Arabs descend from the Ishmaelites. Conflict between twins. Jacob versus Esau in Genesis 25 to 28 and 32 to 33. From Esau come the Palestinians, who were also called Philistines. Conflict between cousins. Israelites versus Ammonites in the north and Moabites in the south. This is found in Numbers 22 to 25, in Judges 3 and 10, in the second book of Kings 3. These people currently live in Jordan. Conflict between grandchildren. Hebrews versus Amalekites in Numbers 14 and Judges 3. The Amalekites are most likely the current inhabitants of Gaza and part of Sinai. Now, we can see that today, as in the past, the pressure from the Arabs against Israel is for them to dispossess themselves of most of their territory, with the purpose of founding the independent Palestinian state. Psalm 83 suggests that the Arabs will abandon diplomatic efforts and decide on war. However, Israel has a purpose in God, therefore they will not be destroyed, as the scripture says in Jeremiah 31, Obadiah 1 verse 18, Ezekiel 25 verse 14, Ezekiel 37 verse 10. In Jeremiah 49 verse 4 to 5. The existential threat that these seven sweet nations pose to Israel actually reverses itself to become an existential threat to many Arabs involved in Psalm 83. If they knew what awaits them, they would not rise up against Israel. Part of the prophecies of Joel 3 and Isaiah 17 are fulfilled at the same time. How then are the enemies of Israel identified in this prophecy of Psalm 83? They are the nations that currently surround it: Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Palestine. Let's now see who are those nations related to Psalm 83. The tents of Edom, they are the Palestinians in southern Jordan. The Ismailis are the Saudis. Those from Moab are the Palestinians in Jordan. The Agarenes are the Egyptians. Jebel is Hezbollah in northern Lebanon. Ammon Palestinians in northern Jordan. Amalek are the Arabs of the Sinai area. Philistia is Hamas of the Gaza Strip. Tyre is Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Assyria is Syria in northern Iraq. As a final fact for this video, we must say that it is not the end yet. We know that St. Matthew in chapter 24, verse 6 writes it like this: And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Take care that you are not troubled, because all this must happen. But it's not the end yet. Note that it says, but it's not the end yet. But then in verse 14 he says, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached throughout the world, as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. This is how it will be. Only when the gospel of Jesus Christ is preached throughout the world will the end come. Thank you for having come this far. Don't forget to subscribe and like.